hand, the world's news network.
Donald Trump's campaign in turmoil. It extends to his finances. He has tens of millions of dollars less than Hillary Clinton, a deficit that's unheard of in modern presidential politics. Clinton campaign had $42 million in the bank as of May 31st. That is according to its report to the FEC. The Trump campaign had $1.3 million. So here to discuss now, Carl Higbie, the co-chair and spokesman for the Great America PAC, which supports Trump, Republican consultant Margaret Hoover, CNN Politics executive editor Marc Preston, and CNN political commentator Marc Lamont Hill. Okay, let's talk about this. Marc Preston, what are the numbers?
The numbers are bleak. I mean, this is, this isn't the kind of report that you want to have released to the public. $1.3 million is really a drop in the bucket. I understand that, Donald Trump's cult of personality carried him through the primaries, but we're in a different campaign right now, and for them to compete with Hillary Clinton, they're going to have to raise an incredible amount of money, or Donald Trump is going to have to stroke that check like he says he's going to.
He's going to have to write it.
A very big check.
Do you think that, so you're the spokesperson for the Trump Super PAC, right? It is Trump's Great America PAC. Do you think that he's going to be able to make up this ground?
Well, I don't know if the campaign, because right now you can only raise in $2,700 increments for the campaign, but you have the super PACs, and that's why a number of us have stepped up. Look, we welcome all the super PACs that we can get on Donald Trump's side, but Great America PAC has been able to raise significant funding to the tune of just about $4 million, with double that in pledges, to try to make up this gap, because we can take unlimited donations, but we're the ones who need to be airing the ads, need to be hitting the ground game, because Donald Trump, he only has 70 people to Hillary Clinton's 700 or 800 right now. So Donald Trump's campaign is a little bit smaller and less infrastructure than where he needs to be.
I mean, this is exactly what you're saying. Even on the outside money, Hillary Clinton has $117 million in the bank in her outside groups, and then all of the accumulated outside groups, at least publicly reported at the moment, have $700,000. All right. So where's the air war? Where's the cavalry? Where is all the sort of support going to come in?
And donors are fatigued.
Okay, so I had Dr. Ben Carson on earlier, and he said something very interesting to me. Listen.
I think there is a process in place right now that's going to rectify that situation.
That's going to get donors to concerned, because you heard Dana Bash saying donors were concerned about the rhetoric, they were concerned about the campaign being disorganized.
Well, the main thing I think that the donors have been confused about is where to donate. Mm-hmm. It has been very unclear, and there have been a lot of different bandwagons on which to jump, and it hasn't necessarily been clarified by the campaign which is the one that they most favor.
I mean, that for me is really, I was a fundraising professional on a presidential incumbents campaign and then on another presidential campaign. So it's inconceivable to me that they haven't designated which super PAC is going to be sort of the official super PAC, that they haven't designated where anybody who wants to help him bundle can plug in. And this is what I'm hearing from finance operatives, from sort of people who are in the donor community. First of all, they're having a really hard time recruiting bundlers, frankly, because people actually are wary of being associated with what has become as the Trump brand, which is a damaged brand, which is damaged. Secondly, there is donor fatigue, but that fatigue is associated with a president, what people perceive will be a failed president.
You have the establishment
There's donor fatigue on the Republican side, but not donor fatigue on the Democratic side? Because Hillary Clinton's raising tons of money.
Hillary Clinton's raising tons of money, and I think, the fatigue is linked to Trump, the Trump brand. It's not just logistical, as Ben Carson is suggesting. It's also ideological. And while Trump can always write a check, as you pointed out, Mark, to help support his own campaign, he has a bigger responsibility as a standard bearer of the party, and that is to make sure the down-ticket elections go well, that other people are supported, and if he doesn't have the ability to raise money on the road, not just for himself but for others, it really makes the whole Republican Party position in a very vulnerable way.
I'm glad you brought that up, because right now what's happening is with the donors, they are divided because, look, the establishment is not behind him, and Trump's not behind the establishment. And the fact is, they need to come together.
You're the first person to admit that.
Ever.
Just on this show.
But the fact of the matter is all those people on that stage took the pledge to support the Republican nominee. They need to get behind him, or we will lose massive seats in the House and Senate. That's fact.
Well, no, I mean, what you have actually is many super donors, many of these people who are bundlers for other candidates saying, we can't do Trump, it's simply against our principles, we can't support him, but we're going to put all of our resources into down ballots. So you do have a lot of outside money. Instead of going to this Trump super PACs, sadly for you, do are actually going to other super PACs and independent expenditure efforts to help defend the Rob Portmans, the Kelly Ayotts, the Ron Johnsons in the Senate, so that there's this chance. The truth is, though, depends how big this tidal wave is that she has. If he loses by 10 points or more, all of that money is not going to make a difference to hold the Senate.
So let me ask you about, we keep saying Donald Trump's behind 7 points. When you look at a candidate like Donald Trump, no one ever thought that,
well,
I shouldn't
this
say no
week.
one, but this week, but in the last couple of weeks, I mean, the numbers are trending down. Usually his numbers have been ticking up. But many people said Donald Trump is never going to get this far. I mean, we're saying Donald Trump 7 points down in the poll, but that's not a huge amount, considering the election is still months away.
Well, but here's the thing. In the primary, we all said he's not going to get far. He'll never get more than 10%. He'll never get more than 20%. He'll never get more than this number. And he kept getting those numbers. But as Margaret said earlier, it's still a plurality. He never had the overwhelming majority or any majority of the Republican primary voters. Now he has the responsibility to not only have the majority of voters, but to really get populations that he's really not doing well with, whether it's minority voters, whether it's independent voters. He's not even operating at the level that Mitt Romney was.
But he has been able to do more with less than any candidate that we have seen.
He has, because he understands television better than any candidate that we've ever seen.
Will that still work, is
right.
the point?
No. So here's the thing. Right? So we say Donald Trump is down 7 points, okay? In the political world, right track, wrong track. Yeah. Right track, that's where you want to be. Wrong track, that's not where you want to be. And and if you look at the last 3 weeks, wrong track, not where you want to be. Right? So campaign manager gets fired.
Yeah.
Okay. We see a consolidation of power right now in the Trump campaign. We talked about this last hour. The bottom line is he's got 2 or 3 weeks right now to really show these donors that he is going to be a serious candidate in the mold of a traditional candidate, because that's how he's going to get any money and support from the establishment.
But he doesn't have the discipline to do that.
Well, what Dr. Carson said about, like, people don't know where to go to fundraise, I mean, it's really just basic stuff. I mean, people who are actually on the finance committee, who want to raise money, who want to plug in, literally there isn't a receiving end on the campaign where they can plug into. There's no one that they can call and say, hey, where do I send this bundler? Who is the staffer that's going to take this call? How are we going to get the schedule, Trump's schedule, signed off on, to be able to tell people when they come to different areas of the country that he's going to have a fundraiser in your area on this date, because they can't get the schedule signed off on.
If it continues like this, what she's describing, he's describing, and Dr. Ben Carson has described, the reason the campaign manager was fired, if it continues like this onto the convention,
it could be bad. It could be very bad. But the fact is, we have these like, for instance, our super PAC. I know I keep peddling it, but the fact is, Great America PAC is run by Ed Rollins. Ed Rollins had a 49-state win. We are running campaigns individual of the candidate.
Is there
right
enough
now.
time, though, between now and
there is, and what needs to happen
November
is a groundswell, crowdsource, much like Bernie Sanders did, get the small dollars and large numbers of people, and that's the way he's going to be effectively able to raise the money. That's the only way.
We'll continue after this. Don't go anywhere.